In the virtual reality known as Immortal World, there's a place called Black Sand Town, located in the gravel desert. Nothing seems particularly special about this place, until we see a horde of wild monsters chasing down 3 rookie awakeners, who are desperately running for their lives. Not a single cock among the crew, just 3 complete pussies, quite literally. The girl with the glasses is leading the group, heading straight for a cluster of sandstone trees. Since desert ghost wolves can't climb, she figures climbing the trees might be their only shot at survival. This is the one and only chance they've got, especially since these sand dwellers don't stop until they catch their prey. To make things worse, they've already lost most of their protective gear in the last fight. As they're running, one of them trips and falls headfirst. The other 2 freeze in place, only to see the monsters closing in on the poor bunny girl. At this point, she's sure it's over for them. Or maybe she spoke too soon. A sword comes flying out of nowhere and strikes the beast clean in the neck, taking it out of the chase for good. Then the man behind the strike appears, a mysterious figure who just so happens to be the actual protagonist of this story. That's Lin Yuan. The bunny girl doesn't realize that this hooded guy is the main character protected by armor plot, so she has no clue how someone who looks like a level 1 rookie just soloed a monster like that. Bro finally takes off his hood, looking like he's ready to kill both the girls and the beasts with just his charismatic aura alone. He doesn't even think fighting these wolves is worth his time. They're weaklings in his eyes. But the wolves don't seem to understand the threat in front of them. They charge in, reckless and wild. My guy grabs his sword and lunges at them like a beast himself. In the blink of an eye, he starts slaughtering every monster like it's no big deal. The trio of pussies is left with their jaws hanging. A level 1 rookie is demolishing desert ghost wolves like they're nothing more than whining little bitches. The glasses girl can't even process how he just killed 4 of them with a basic newbie sword. But then, things get wild. More and more beasts start swarming the place. In fact, there is an entire horde of wolves, thirsting for human flesh. The girls begin to stagger backward, their eyes wide with fear as they face an unexpected encounter with the full pack. The wolves likely caught the scent of their dead packmates, and came running. The glasses girl decides to run while she still can. This horde is strong enough to wipe out a rookie village. There's no way a single guy could take them all on, but my guy just smirks and activates his system to summon skeleton warriors. He throws 5 skeleton cards on the ground, and the undead start rising like it's nobody's business. As these ferocious fellas make their presence known, the wolves march straight toward them. Yuan commands his minions to charge as well, and joins in himself, slashing left and right to support his army. 15 minutes later, Yuan lands the final blow on the last wolf. In total, he's taken down 15 desert ghost wolves, earning himself a sweet 160 experience points. On top of that, he has been granted 16 wolf teeth, 16 hides, and 16 claws. Pretty sweet loot for someone who's supposed to be a level 1 newbie. As he's picking up his rewards, the 3 girls are just standing there, stunned. Bro literally took down 12 of those wolves like it was nothing. The bunny girl finally musters the courage to ask if he's a mage, and how the hell he used a summoning skill like that. She's a mage too, but she's never seen anything like what he just pulled off. Turns out he's not even a mage. Now she's even more curious about his class. Well, it's time for a little clarification. Apparently Yuan has awakened an SSS tier forbidden class. His name is Lin Yuan from the Blue Planet, and he's a reincarnator. 3 years ago, scientists observed a massive new celestial body, the Magic Planet, that suddenly appeared beside the Blue Planet. Right after the 3 months of this Blue Planet sighting, a mysterious company announced a virtual reality game called Immortal World, and it shocked the world. After entering Immortal World using VR goggles, humans were assigned various classes inside the game. By leveling up, they could fight monsters within the game world. At first, no one cared much, as everyone just perceived it to be just an ordinary game. Until one day, people started developing the same abilities in the real world that they had in the game. These people were dubbed the Chosen Ones. From that point on, a bunch of cultists calling themselves Evil Star God Believers started crossing over from the virtual world into the real one, and began killing people. Yuan's parents were among the victims of that catastrophe. Humanity gathered all its power to fight back, but in the end, the cultists crushed them. Yuan himself died in that final battle. But an hour ago, something changed. He found himself back in time, at the exact moment he first logged into Immortal World. And this time, the system gave him an SSS tier forbidden class, the Necromancer. Basically, he's been granted a second chance, a shot to level up, boost his skills, and protect the Blue Planet, and the people he loves. With the world building out of the way, we get back to our boy. He extends his hand over the corpse of the dead wolf and triggers his Necromancer power. The system prompts him if he wants to use Dark Summon on desert wolf corpses. Without hesitation, he says yes. Apparently, every special class has a trait that grants the player a unique talent. For our boy, he has the ability to turn dead monsters into zombies who follow his commands. These zombies don't just retain their previous levels and skills, they also get a new skill called Body of Death, which grants immunity to most negative effects. He's got another talent too, called Hell's Gate, which helps reincarnate monsters via dark summon. The quality and quantity of the summons improves as this talent levels up. To simply put, if he grinds enough and levels up, he'll have an unstoppable army of the dead. By now, the girl in glasses seriously wants to know the identity of this Chad who can wake up the dead. But there's no time for unnecessary introductions, because the world boss, a giant death wolf, is right on their necks. Basically, bro is about to have a feast again. A rift begins forming in the sky, massive enough for every player in the desert to see. Everyone starts scattering, trying to save their sorry lives. According to the game's official site, the boss wolf has a 50-meter attack range, so the smart move is to run as far away as possible. Soon enough, the wolf descends and starts taking down players mercilessly. One guy goes nuts seeing his comrades fall, charging in to avenge them. But his friends stop him before he gets himself killed. Meanwhile, two pussies hide behind rocks watching their comrades get eaten alive. They're not sure if anyone's powerful enough to challenge this monster, but looks like they're about to find out, with my guy casually trudging toward the beast, no fear in his heart. The others notice his rundown sword and assume he's a newbie. This giant death wolf is a level 6 Lord-grade boss monster, impossible for any newbie to challenge, even with combined forces. To get a clear picture of how undefeatable this wolf is, let's talk rankings. Monsters go from weak to strong like this: normal, elite, leader, lord, monarch, and lastly, it's god. A lord-grade monster can wreck newbies easily, even if they're level 1. But Yuan is standing right in front of this massive guy, as fearless as ever, like he's got some kind of god-tier cheat. The pussies behind the rocks warn him to fall back. Remember, it's a level 6 lord-grade monster, so retreating is the best option. Yuan, however, takes a long look at the wolf and finds the monster to be kinda underwhelming compared to what he expected. The wolf wastes no time and unleashes a magnificent howl capable of incinerating everyone into smithereens. Yuan just dodges by stepping back. But the monster's relentless, lunging with claws extended. Here's why Yuan is fearless. From his previous life's experience, this level 6 giant death wolf, even with its boss buffs, only has 3,400 HP with 510 attack points. For the adventurers in the gravel desert, whose highest level is 3, this is a serious challenge without a team. Back then, Yuan almost died fighting it with a group. But now, he has been reincarnated. He is someone who has survived countless near-death battles, and is no longer the weak runt he used to be. As those deadly claws come swinging, he jumps away just in time. The onlookers are left in awe of his insane speed. The boss wolf is annoyed how his prey is dancing around, slipping away like a slippery fish. Meanwhile, my guy knows exactly how to tame this furious beast. He unleashes his necromancy and summons Hell's Gate to bring forth undead. The gate is so massive that the monster looks tiny in comparison. The gates of hell open, and a horde of undead charges at the giant wolf. Once again, the onlookers can't believe what they're seeing. The gate was shocking enough, but there are so many ghost wolves turned zombies. The reason Yuan can summon this many is that he leveled up to 3 while grinding his way here, increasing Hell's Gate's capacity to 30. According to Immortal World's aggro mechanics, when the summoner is stronger than the summons and both are present, the enemy targets the summoner first. But if the summoned monsters attack, the enemy has no choice but to focus on them instead. So while the boss wolf is busy fighting these tiny undead versions of itself, Yuan waits for an opening. Once he spots it, he dashes in and slashes the wolf all over in one quick dash. The monster growls in pain and screams ear-piercingly. Now fully aggravated, it switches its focus back to Yuan. With the boss locked on him, Yuan's minions take advantage, jumping all over the beast. Sure, the summoned monsters are tiny and only deal about 15 damage each, but with the combined damage, they can easily chip away at the wolf's 3,400 health points. Finally, Yuan and his minions charge together to deliver a critical blow. Witnessing the level 1 rookie's brilliant combat abilities against a powerful boss monster, the rest of the adventurers are shocked. But among them are a few rotten eggs too, who appear to be scheming for a plan. The fight continued for a while until a few minutes passed. By this point, using the hit-and-run aggression tactic that our boy used had already reduced the boss monster's health all the way down to a mere 500. While that bastard was busy munching on the undead ghost wolves, our boy swooped in with a blade in hand, piercing the creature's head in a bloody fashion and securing a critical hit. The same health bar that was at 500 crippled and fell all the way down to 80. Things aren't looking good for this overgrown puppy because Lin Yuan keeps on stabbing its head to deal more damage. The monster collapses on the ground with a heavy fall after sustaining many injuries. Lin Yuan walks towards the creature's near-dead body. The boss is nothing more than 10 health points away from being killed. Bro stares the creature down and seems to be ready to finish it off, when suddenly the rotten scumbags from before decided to capitalize on the opportunity and jumped right in. They were waiting for this chance to ambush our protagonist after all. This way they'll be able to reap the treasures looted from the boss. The three idiots have the gall to jump on him. But what they don't realize is that Lin Yuan is sharp and immediately turns back as an adventurer warns him to watch out. With a single swing of his blade, the rookie sends all three of them flying. By the end of their crash, we see his blade trickling down blood, implying that he actually managed to severely injure them. Lin Yuan stands over the toppled bodies of his enemies, declaring that the dead men made a foolish mistake to overestimate their own abilities. Witnessing the scene of this guy literally one hit killing all three of them at once has the rest of the adventurers on edge. They can't even believe what happened or how he managed to destroy three bandits like that. Turning his attention back to the grievously injured boss monster, Lin Yuan doesn't spare the creature any mercy and releases a heavy slash from his blade. That attack strikes the boss monster down with yet another critical hit, which is honestly overkill at this point. But yeah, the world boss giant Deathwolf is officially down for the count. Having defeated a monster of its caliber returns him nearly 500 experience points and a soul gem from the system. As for the loot, Lin Yuan waits patiently, wondering what kind of rewards he'll reap from killing the world boss. A beam of yellow light is unleashed and manifests a treasure box as well as the soul gem crystal. He takes the soul gem, inspecting it with the system. Apparently, soul gems can be collected and later on replaced in exchange for legendary equipment or weapons. Also, right after reaching level 60, every single player is physically required to go to the Eternal Council to meet the elves who are also leveling up. But at his current level, that won't be possible. Still, the existence of the soul gem is basically a surefire method to guarantee a legendary weapon in the future. Let's talk about the equipment class system of the game. Now, the rank system is divided from low to high, classified from black, black iron, bronze, silver, gold, dark gold, epic, legendary, and then finally mythical. If you were paying attention, legendary equipment is basically the second highest tier on the list. Ordinary rookie players always start off with the lowest rank equipment, meaning the black equipment, and rarely, if at all, start off with black iron equipment. But having regressed 2 hours ago and from the experiences of his original life, he successfully managed to use the skeleton warriors to face off against elite rank lizard warriors. Because they were so busy fighting each other, our boy quickly snuck in and opened the bronze chest from their territory, acquiring the black lizard robe from it, which is classified as a bronze level equipment. The robe has a practical effect of boosting his speed and defensive abilities, so it's a pretty good deal and it makes him look drippy as hell, so there's that too. The system officially announces that he's actually the first player in this time period to have successfully defeated the world boss, earning him the title classification of Hunter. Just like solo leveling, titles in this system actually represent special effects. For the Hunter title, he gains an additional attack boost of 10% and a critical chance increase as well as a spell damage buff. Once again, it's a pretty good deal without directly being too overpowered. Lin Yuan shares his thoughts on the immortal world, reflecting how each title signifies different attributes or status effects for each player, and he's really happy to have gotten a good deal from the title he just obtained. But also, he obtains a second reward for his early bird status, earning him an amazing silver chest. Lin Yuan is living the life and opens the chest, and surprisingly, he catches a pretty good loot from it. First up is the Silver Moon Sword, classified into the silver range level with a boosted attack power. Then he acquires the Eye of Death, an accessory with effects. There's also a healing potion for both health and mana, which is convenient. There's a skill scroll which might help in boosting his skill points later on. Finally, there's the Monster Essence Potion. Apparently, it's something only dropped after defeating powerful monsters. Ingesting the essence allows the player to gain a stat increase in some of their attributes and skills. Overall, a great loot for beating the first world boss of the game. Lin Yuan is left with the impression that the game is far more generous than he believed. With everything stashed in his inventory, the system calculates his experience points to update his player data. It's actually a pretty good thing that he increased from level 3 and reached the end of level 4 in the span of one fight. With every level up, he also gets an additional 5 points of attributes, distributed 3 for mind and 2 for physical strength. At his current level, Lin Yuan stands at level 4 and is pretty happy with his stats. Now that he's leveled up, he's certain that he currently possesses the highest attributes among all the players in the Gravel Desert region. Interestingly, while observing his stats, he notices that his Underworld Gate stat is 0 out of 40. This means that the monsters he stored as the undead really did get sacrificed for good in this battle. But the good part is that each level up will continue to grant him an increase in storage points. And now for the fun part. Lin Yuan stands near the corpse of the giant ghost wolf and attempts to use his dark summoning ability on its remains. Confirming the usage of the skill with the system, he breathes life, or should I say death, into the body of the giant ghost wolf, who resurrects as a servant of the necromancer with all of its original stats and abilities. The world boss's stats are amazing for what it's worth, featuring area of effect damage and abilities to handle multiple monsters at once. After becoming an undead or a zombie, the creature also gains a secondary skill called the Wrath of the Undead. Thanks to the help of the giant death wolf, he can now regain and replenish the undead creatures lost in battle from the underworld gate. That's actually a more acceptable way of doing it than just making immortal summons, I guess. While this is happening, by the way, the rest of the adventurers are out here hiding behind rocks and questioning how the hell this guy turned a boss monster turned into his personal pet. And then there's the Hell's Gate door again, the same door from which the undead wolves came out before. At this point, they formed an assessment of Lin Yuan to be the person even scarier than the world boss. Sensing them bicker around like that in the distance, our boy sharply glances to see what's up. And suddenly they're gone at the speed of light. The funny thing is that our boy can sense that they're still there. They're just hiding better and quivering in place. He stops focusing on them and shares his analysis on the bandit attack previously. Right after killing the scumbags, he discovered a black iron sword from one of them, which, although is a good weapon for a rookie, the fact is that he's found himself a silver-class weapon already, so it's practically useless to him. Snatching the blade, he approaches over to their side, making them scared shitless of what he'll do. They're fearing the possibility that the rookie is out for their necks to collect all their equipment. But before they can form a plan to escape, Lin Yuan greets the guy who shouted a warning at him earlier. Being addressed like that, the dude is scared like crap and doesn't know what to say. Instead of giving him a speech, our boy hands him the black iron sword and leaves right away, stating that although it may not be of use to him, it might be of use to them. Seeing him drop a black iron rank weapon out of nowhere has the rest of the group in shambles. The weapon is easily worth tens of thousands, which is pretty surprising for a low-rank weapon. About 10 minutes of striding in the middle of God knows fuck where, our boy is startled by a sudden feeling. The sound of electricity trickles around until the headset gives up. Lo and behold, bro forgot to charge the device properly, so it ran out of battery, resulting in him returning to the real world. Taking off the headset, Lin Yuan realizes that he has to do whatever it takes to earn money so he can purchase the more valuable game pod. It's time for us to actually break down the specifics of what the game actually is. The Immortal World is a cutting-edge, hyper-realistic VR game that allows multiple login locations within the country. Every single login area has a different game kingdom or map for the players to select and choose from. Let's take the Elpad district as an example, since our protagonist lives in this region. Here, there are basically 4 countries. The first is the West Desert, featuring the ancient country. The second is the Southern Empire, a more advanced civilization. The third is the Northern Hades Empire. And finally, there's the interesting Tidal Island. Of the 4 locations, a player can choose a place of birth, a region to start off in. The 4 options are presented to them on the system screen. Knowing that he was about to have a second experience living the same life, Lin Yuan wisely picked the same choice as last time. His decision was to tackle the Western Desert Ancient Country region. There's actually a logical reason behind this, a shocking secret that he stumbled upon right before his death. As the world was being plundered by a wave of godlike monsters, there was our helpless protagonist. Lin Yuan found himself begging and pleading for help with his limbs severed like a chicken nugget. In that moment, he met eyes with a cloaked figure. These figures were floating in the sky. One of them possessed wings. But perhaps the most notable creature was the terrifying engulfing demonic eye covering the sky. Possessing the yellow sapphire indicates that the person belongs to the ancient country's guild system. And yet, the cloaked figures that were attacking him were helping the monsters. This meant that the first believer of the Starry Sky evil god, and its first worshipper, wasn't actually a monster. No, in a plot twist, it was a human player who turned to the evil side. Recalling that scene, the current Lin Yuan strongly believes in the idea that the first worshipper is probably a key candidate in summoning the villainous evil god onto the earth to destroy everything. Reflecting that there are 3 short years left until the descending of the evil god and the unraveling of the apocalypse, Lin Yuan has a brief time window to take care of the threat. His goal is to target the first worshipper and prevent the tragedy from ever breaking loose. However, the only clue he currently has isn't a face or an identity. It's just a damn badge belonging to the ancient country. Now, the yellow sapphire is known to be an emblem of many guilds, and the one condition to obtain it is if the player reaches level 10 in the main city. So in order to catch this mole in the hole, our boy has to get his game on and level up as fast as possible to start his investigation and narrow down suspects. Suddenly, he remembers something. Inspecting the skeleton card as part of his summoning abilities, it makes him wonder if he can activate something like this in the real world. I bet that's something you guys didn't predict. That's right. Some players of the game have the unique ability to return to the original world retaining some of their powers. Such people are classified as the Chosen Ones, which brings us an interesting segment to explore what they're truly supposed to be. The individual classified as the Chosen One is also referred to as the Child of Destiny, retaining a hidden powerful profession as well as a high level of natural luck. These guys are basically the main heroes, the real deal, and became the main resistance against the evil god later on. Now, in his previous life, Lin Yuan was unlucky with the abilities of the character he received. But this time, his life is different. His stats have been buffed incredibly high already, and he obtained a secret profession called the Necromancer skill. Long story short, he's not a normal case and could be classed as a chosen one too. The only difference that bothers him is why his skill is in a league of its own and different from the skills of others like him. Hearing a knock on his door, he is alerted and suddenly remembered something. In this world, his parents are still alive. Deciding to go above and beyond for their sake, the boy decided to become the chef for the day and prepared a whole variety of different meals for his family. It's a feast, if anything, and I totally get why he would be doing something like this, especially after seeing his parents alive again. The excited mom thinks it's a rare gift from their son, so they shouldn't waste the opportunity to eat quickly. Seeing their happy and indulging reactions, our boy wisely reflects a thought on behalf of human nature. He points out how humans are strange creatures who only understand the weight and value of love only after losing someone or something important to them. Having that kind of guilty conscience on his mind, he wanted to make amends by treating his family well this time around, grateful for every moment he gets to spend with them. Remembering the ways of his previous life, Lin Yuan was busy and didn't care to spend time with his family for the most part. His parents were worried about his gaming addiction, but unfortunately didn't say much to him out of love and to prevent his feelings getting hurt. That is until their child faced a major reality check one day, upon discovering the dead bodies of the ones he took for granted. The apocalypse destroyed everything he loved, and it's only then he understood the weight of what he lost. So now, he's chilling by having fun with his family, asking about Xiao Tan's whereabouts on a Sunday holiday. Turns out that Tan is busy preparing for a mock exam, so she's got her own study schedule at school to deal with. But his mother still wants her son to care for Xiao Tan by bringing her some of the fresh food later, because she usually eats like crap because of her routine. Even more, she's shocked that her son has the ability to cook, describing the tenderness of the perfectly cooked chicken wings. As for the boy's father, he notices Lin Yuan's expression as he's serving food. The boy expresses his interest in learning how to cook more in the future. You guys have to understand that his parents had no idea of this side to him. They believed he was just a gamer with no interest in the real world. So now that he's actually figuratively touching grass, they're at the verge of tears. They're really happy for him. Actually, I have an idea. Let's all surprise our parents and make them happy by planning a day for them this week. The mellow scene aside, it's time for our boy's training arc. And not just in the game, but also in real life. Bro is putting in the reps and working out, doing crunches, smashing the punching bag in the hopes of becoming Mike Tyson Jr. His thoughts are simple. With his continually growing abilities, he has to make sure his physique is up to par with what the burden of his skills are. After a long day's training session, Lin Yuan is exhausted. He just sprinted 50 meters in the span of 5.5 seconds, which is impressive, but it's not stopping him. Apparently, dude also wants to become Usain Bolt over here. But that concludes the training for today. It's time for him to return to the immortal world once more. Back into the game, our boy sets foot into the gravel desert region. Right after his arrival, Lin Yuan has to face the annoyance of dealing with flying monsters. These giant beasts are just overgrown chicken nuggets if you ask me. But anyway, one of them is about to strike him down from an aerial descent. The creature is actually called the Howling Bird, but I think the Yapping Bird would be a better name. It's only level 2. And naturally our boy butchers the shit out of the bird with a single sword slash, ending the creature's life at once. But the unfortunate thing is, he only gained 15 experience points. His disappointment is immeasurable and his day is ruined. See what I did there? Anyway, the same birdie ended up becoming an undead birdie soon afterwards. Lin Yuan used his resurrection skill after all. But his troubles don't end there. The gravel desert is teeming with fierce monsters. Among them are the annoying ghost wolves. Only this time they've got dozens and dozens of friends alongside them. They really said we're gonna jump this human. Apes together strong be like. Lin Yuan reflects that the howling bird is actually a regular prey to these wolves, which is why it attracted an enormous number of them from out of nowhere. Popping the lid from his monster essence potion, Lin Yuan casually replenishes his energy while staring down the army of ghost wolves. Right after consumption, his stats gain an immediate 10-point boost in every category. Lin Yuan lunges forth to strike the wolves down, who in turn are ready to eat his flesh. Calling it a warm-up, this guy literally annihilates a bunch of wolves with a single swing. But his troubles don't end there as their numbers are far too much. 2 more pop out to push him down. Lin Yuan focuses on his combative abilities alone and defeats a whopping 10 of them at once. The numbers don't end. More of them are pouncing close to him, causing him to grow wary of the wolves. At this point, he's surrounded from every direction, leaving very little room for him to escape. The ghost wolves are probably confident of their victory here, but they're forgetting one crucial element. This man's pronouns are him, and Himothy over here shows them how it's done by bursting forth with insane speeds, cutting wolf then slashing another in a zigzag fashion. With that single lunge of his, this time he kills a record 20 ghost desert wolves. Then he breaks that same record by killing a total of 30. Something tells me he really hates these wolves because dude is not sparing a thought. By the end of the Ghost Wolf Massacre, this guy has cut down over 40 desert wolves and advanced his way to level 5. The best part? In the duration of his battles, he basically gained himself a large group of ghost wolves under his command. The same minions he lost are back with double the firepower. At his current level, Lin Yuan stands at level 5, and his underworld gate has grown the capacity to store 50 monsters. It's thanks to the monster essence that he used, which boosted the 4 main attributes and helped him climb to a level where he no longer has to worry about battling stronger monsters all alone. This way, he can level up even faster. With the troubles of the gravel desert set aside, our protagonist sets his sights on his original mission, pointing his direction towards the ancient city. This silly little city is called the Black Sand Town. Among its hustling people, Lin Yuan makes his way past searching to complete his objective. Upon arriving at the establishment, he opens the door to find a drunkard-looking man inside. This guy is actually Kunshi, the mage instructor of the town. And you probably guessed it right. He's about to become our boy's new sensei. You see, Lin Yuan has come all the way here in order to learn skills. Let's talk about what skills truly represent this game first of all. In the immortal world, skills are abilities obtained either by killing monsters or obtaining from skill books that can be acquired from treasure chests. These two methods aside, every profession of a player also shares its mentors or experts that could teach the rookie player to hone or improve their skill. It just so happens that this drunkard is one of those people. Kun Shai is actually the same instructor from his past life, where Lin Yuan specifically honed his talents as a mage. The instructor blatantly expresses his concern for his drinking money because that's all he cares about. As for Lin Yuan's previous life, bro was an angry mage rushing at powerful monsters with a vengeance. Considering that the profession of necromancer is not only hidden, but also a forbidden profession, he doesn't really possess much knowledge of it or how to improve it. But based on the fact that it utilizes the concept of summoning, it is the closest to a mage profession. Instead of focusing on hyper-specific skills that he'll obtain directly from his profession as necromancer, Lin Yuan wants to prioritize honing his fundamentals first. This means he wants to improve his overall control as a mage. And with that intention in mind, he tells the instructor that he's interested in learning soulfire, healing skill, and finally invisibility. Catching the bag of coins from the interested student, Lin Shi states that he's fine with anything as long as he gets the money for it. It just so happens that he received a hefty amount of money from that bag. Proud of his determination, the mage instructor prepares a spell and declares that the young man has potential to become a powerful mage. Also, that little spell isn't just your average spell. It literally granted Lin Yuan the ability to learn soulfire, healing, and invisibility, but they're all at a crappy level 1 and at the lowest rank of black iron. Observing his skill details, Lin Yuan thinks of the many ways he could use these new skills. For example, soulfire overall allows him to burst out more long-range damage. I don't think the healing ability needs to be explained, but its use case can be put towards healing others or even himself. Finally, invisibility is just a watered-down version of John Cena's power. It can help in a life-threatening situation. Though he's acquired the 3 skills, it doesn't change the fact that they're crappy at their current level. Right now, what he's looking for is to quickly learn advanced skills and get even more powerful. But in order to accomplish that, dude's gotta grind for more resources. The scene cuts from there and transitions to the east side of the town, a creepy landmark known as the Black Sand Mountain. Venturing deep into the mountainside, our boy successfully discovers the Kobold Mine. As the name implies, the place is filled with kobold monsters. They're powerful, boasting level 5 and mostly hiding from the general view. They've got a scarily sharp sense of smell and possess the power to sense their prey in the dark. Their main method of attacking is sneaking up on you, which makes them intelligent beasts with the way they hunt. Armed with the knowledge that there are typically 100 kobolds in a single group, our boy assesses his strategies. One thing is for sure though, these guys are the easiest way for him to grind his way to the top and level up fast. Paired with the fact that he's got an undead army with him to kill the bastards, it makes his job easier. Before going in any deeper, he takes a cautionary step by drinking a night vision potion. The effect is immediate, providing the player a better vision in dark environments, and the duration lasts for 30 minutes, which is plenty of time for the hunt. Lin Yuan unleashes his undead summons from the gate, reflecting that his level isn't the only good thing that's going to increase from this grind. No, what's even better is that his skill proficiency will shoot up the more he uses his skills, allowing room for skills like invisibility and soulfire to grow fast. Lin Yuan let the dogs out to hunt. Did I place another secret reference in there? Guess in the comments. Side note, the funny thing is how even a simple thing as details of a torch fire is noted in the system. The undead ghost wolves are actively on the hunt, filling the entire mine by spreading out the place. Strangely enough, even after 15 minutes, there's no sight of a single monster. They're advancing deeper and deeper, when suddenly our boy senses something and stops dead in his tracks. He can clearly hear sounds coming from nearby, which means the monsters are starting to strategize against him. Deciding to say a loud "fudge you" to their plans, Bro chucks his torch into the deeper parts of the mine, revealing the hidden kobolds in the dark. Upon being spotted, the rest of them literally go crazy. They were actually busy dealing with one of the ghost wolves that ventured too deep, but now their target is set on the human. Brace yourselves, folks. War is about to break out between the kobolds and the wolves. The second the torch hits the ground, the ghost wolves are already on the offensive. These guys are trailing their master, whose single command is to kill them all without leaving even a single one alive. Funnily enough, the kobolds are also rushing to attack, but their primary weapon of choice appears to be the pickaxe and their claws. In one swing alongside his ghost wolves, Lin Yuan secures 2 kills right at once. However, since the kobolds possess skills of their own for their level, they activate an ability called Smash to crush one of the ghost wolves with a heavy attack. Apart from that, Lin Yuan is facing absolutely no trouble as he goes on to demolish 8 kobolds back-to-back with his silver sword. He internalizes how these monsters aren't particularly troublesome when it comes to their fighting ability. As long as you can focus on dodging their weapons, it's a piece of cake. Speaking of which, 4 kobolds thought that it was a good idea to pull a fast one on our boy by jumping at him all at once. Yeah, that cost them greatly because Lin Yuan replies with the usage of invisibility skill, disappearing into thin air as the kobold's attack is wasted on the ground. The monsters can't believe their eyes. The human is nowhere to be found. But it's simply an illusion as he returns from a vantage point behind, roaring at the foolish kobold and dicing down a total of 20 monsters in a bloody fashion. The slaughterfest continues with the silver sword cutting them down. Lin Yuan takes a second to point out how his proficiency for the invisibility skill has already increased from the usage of it. However, the main problem comes with the fact that these monsters are still way too weak for their attributes, which means if he uses them as the main method of grinding, it's going to take a long while to actually get meaningful results. Still, that doesn't stop the necromancer from commanding their dead bodies using the dark summoning skill. Now he has access to a third kind of monster in his arsenal, the undead kobold miners with higher base stats than even the ghost wolves. With the undead ghost wolves wiped out, Lin Yuan replaces their role with the kobolds and tells them to do the same thing and kill the rest of the group. Right now, his main priority is to find the boss monster to actually get something good for once. Descending into the deeper levels, Lin Yuan and his Bob the Builder crew is met by a few different paths. Instead of focusing on the paths ahead, he notices something to his left. There seem to be a bunch of spherical dotted figures that look strange to him. Confident that he's located what he's looking for, Lin Yuan unleashes his level 1 Soulfire ability to shoot down flames from long range. The attack unfortunately results in the deaths of the cute-looking mud slimes. F in the chat for the little ones. Unaware of the warrior, a pair of creepy eyes is staring him down in the distance. The creature quickly lunges towards the group, who has yet to detect his presence. Making its presence known, the giant kobold overseer unleashes his fury. But even this creature is just a mere level 6. It just has a fancy new weapon and a new color. Using this moment to throw down his epic main character monologue, Lin Yuan remarks how the world has always been a domain of the strong preying on the weak. Survival of the fittest stands true for all creatures. Even the best of predators are doomed to meet their end at the hands of another predator. The concept of danger and risk is something that every living creature is familiar with, no matter how strong it is. Back to Kobold Larry Wheels over here, this guy just demolished a few of its own kind with a destructive whip strike.